up, everyone? Welcome back to She's So Dramatic. Thanks for joining me again on this channel where we focus on theater art, book reviews, and lifestyle. I'm excited to have you back again for another video. I hope you guys had a great holiday. We had a really wonderful day with each other. Of course, it was low key, and I missed that part, seeing the bigger family, seeing my mom. But we did our best virtually. So I hope you had a wonderful holiday as well. Today is the 30th, so we have not yet reached New Year's Eve, but it's time for me to start taking down Christmas decorations. I'm going to go ahead and put the tree away and put all of the decorations away and get this room. We're standing in my library room. We're going to get this room back to normal. Now, as I'm thinking about undecorating, I have a feeling that it's going to feel naked once I take everything down, because if you remember, we are new in this home. We have not been here quite yet a year, and I did not get a chance to decorate and furnish the home like I wanted to before COVID hit. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do what I can with what I have and just make this room feel as cozy as I want it to feel, make it feel like a really good reading spot like I want it to feel. So I'll take you along with me as I consider what I can put on the walls to make it not feel so naked. I have a picture over here that I kind of want to reframe because it's pretty dated, the way that it was framed. So I'll show you that here in a bit. But while we're also in the room, not only do I have goals for this room for 2021, but I have some reading goals that I want to share with you as well. So for me, 2020 was not the greatest year for reading for me. Once the pandemic hit and quarantine set in, I felt stuck. You would think that I would have been able to take advantage of all of that quiet time and all of the time where we were no longer rushing. Like, I have student athletes, right? And so we are used to rushing from game to game, event to event, activity to activity. And you would think that in all of that quiet time that I had, that I really would have been able to dive in and attack my reading goals, but I couldn't. I felt stuck for most of the year. There was so much going on in addition to the pandemic, everything with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter and police brutality and just all of the things. It made the world so loud for me that I could not focus on reading. I kind of just crawled into a hole, really. I don't think it was a heavy depression, but I definitely had the blues, as I'm sure all of you did as well in some way, shape, or form. But anyway, I said all that to say that 2020 was not a great reading year for me. I did not hit my goals that I had set up for myself. And so I really do want to remedy that in 2021 and just kind of recenter myself and refocus. And I really am looking forward to that. I am a Goodreads member. If any of you use the Goodreads app, feel free to follow me. I'm at She's So Dramatic in Goodreads. And so I'm going to set some reading goals up in the app for this year. And I'm going to stick to them. I think I'm going to stick to them. I'm going to try at least. So I definitely have some goals set around reading for 2021. And like I said, I just thought it'd be nice to share them with you here. Also, this is going to keep me accountable, if I'm being honest, because when you speak a thing out loud and when you write a thing in your planner or in your list for your goals, it materializes in a different way. It sinks in a different way in here. So not only did I write these goals down, but again, I wanted to share them with you as well to keep me accountable. So one of the things that I want to do differently in 2021 is I need to pare down the number of books that I'm reading at once. In the past, I have been guilty of reading like 4 books at a time. Because what usually happens, you can come down. because what usually happens is I'll be reading a book for theater. So whatever play we're producing at the time, I'll be reading maybe books, other books by that author, or books about the historical context of the play. So I'll usually be reading a book or two related to theater or related to whatever play we're working on. Then I'll be reading a book just for pleasure, which for me, one of my pleasure genres is mysteries and thrillers. And then I kind of like to wind down with a different genre. My escapism genre is historical romance. That's too much. I have found that it's too much for me. It's not that much different from watching 2 or 3 different TV shows. Like you get into 2 or 3 different series at once and you're able to keep up with all of the characters. It's not that much different. It's just that I'm not sure that I am getting the most out of the books or getting what I want to get out of them when I do it that way. So I need to pare down. And so for 2021, I've decided to just focus on 2 books at a time. So whatever I might be reading for theater or work or whatever, and then whatever I need to escape with or wind down with is what I've decided to do. And if I do it that way, I'm hoping that I will finish the books faster instead of having 4 open books that I can't get through for weeks. If I do it this way, I'm hoping that I'll be able to get through the books faster. So that's one of my reading goals for 2021. Another reading goal that I have for 2021, and I think I want to carry this on even after 2021 into the following years, is I want to create a theme for the year. What I've decided, I've been saying this for a while and I'm finally going to follow through and do it in 2021, is I want to read every single thing that Toni Morrison wrote. I'm a huge, huge fan of Toni Morrison, beginning with The Bluest Eye, all the way through the years, but I didn't read them in order. Not that you have to, and I can't say that I've read everything. And she is definitely an author that I admire. I love her work. I love her writing style. And last year, I hate that I didn't think about this last year, but last year was the 50th, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put it up on the screen if I'm wrong. The 50th anniversary of The Bluest Eye, which was her first novel, which was probably my favorite of her novels that I've read so far. Again, I haven't read all of them, but that's the goal for this year. So this year's theme is going to be the Year of Morrison. So next, I'm going to go ahead and get this tree taken down, take the Christmas decorations off of the mantle. I do want to do something different. Obviously, this is a Christmas themed lantern that I'm going to have to take down and store away. But I purchased another lantern that I can replace because I like that aesthetic. I like the way that it looks there. So I have another lantern that I bought from Walmart that I'm just going to DIY and just kind of decorate a little bit and put a flickering candle in there. So I'll show you some of that as well. And then I'm gonna show you this picture that I want to change the frame out because it is so dated. So this is a piece of art that I've had, gosh, probably 25 years. It's called He Ain't Heavy. And I just love the idea of it. The problem is the way that I had it mounted and framed back in the 90s. It really does look dated. And so I don't know if I'll be able to do anything about this border because I don't want to take it completely apart. Like it was legit mounted and framed by a professional. So I really don't want to take it apart. So I may not be able to do anything about this border, but I do want to paint the frame itself just black. And I think that will update it enough for this room. And then I have another painting that I'm going to put on that wall when I take the tree down, just to help the space not feel so empty. So between these little tweaks to the room, I'm going to get it ready for 2021, and then I'll be ready to attack my reading goals. So hang with me while I undecorate and make some updates. Okay, so while I'm pulling out the storage bin and getting these ornaments off of the tree, I just wanted to mention one other goal that I have for myself and for my library is to expand my collection of hard copies. A few years ago, I fell down the rabbit hole of e-reading and Kindle reading, and in 2017 alone, I read 77 ebooks, which is not bad, but while I was doing all of that e-reading, my hard copy collection was not growing. So I definitely want to expand and even add more shelves to this room so that I can grow my collection. Okay, now here it is on New Year's Eve. I am obviously delirious in this clip, but I'm sitting in my little crafting corner trying to figure out how I'm going to DIY this lantern and replace it with the other one in the library. So because it's New Year's Eve, I thought it was fitting to put on my Leslie Jordan shirt. This is a great way to end the year, I thought. Definitely one of my faves. And that shirt was a gift from a good girlfriend of mine. So here I have this empty lantern that I purchased from Walmart, just a plain black lantern. And I also bought this flickering candle for it. So I'm going to figure out how I want to place it inside. These other supplies came from Dollar Tree. This nautical rope, I thought it would be great to glue to the outside of the candle. And then I bought this floral foam to give it some height. So I thought I could sit the candle on top within the lantern and just give it a little bit more height. I thought that would be interesting. And then I also purchased these decorative rocks, also from the Dollar Tree. So we're going to place those in there as well and just see what it looks like. So I got started and I realized that I don't want so many rocks inside of the lantern. Like, I've got to figure out how to cover up that green floral foam without, making it so heavy with rocks. See, I don't want to fill it up too high. So I figured I would use a piece of extra material that I had from earlier this year when I was doing the DIY masks. And this has the globes on it, which is the theme in my library anyway. So I thought this would look good inside of the lantern. So here is the finished product, and I've got the two lanterns side by side so you can see this obviously had a more Christmas feel with the flocked greenery and the acorns. And then here's what I'm going to replace it with. And I thought that turned out pretty well. It has very neutral vibes. And then the robe kind of gives it a very natural boho feel, which is one of my favorite aesthetics. And so I'm just going to replace it. I had that lantern sitting on top of some Shakespeare anthologies, and I thought it turned out pretty well. I really like the way that it looks in this room. So here's a final look at the room. I'm so happy with the way that it turned out. I'm excited about my goals for the new year. I am happy with this gorgeous print on the wall. My husband repurposed it from another area and hung it in here, which I love for the library. I'm kind of struggling with the angle here, but I'm trying to give you a close-up without a glare so you could see the name, but it's called The Keeper by Charles Bibbs. And he's an artist that advocates for the idea that we have to be keepers of our own culture, which I am here for. As you can see, the man in the painting is carrying various written scribes, and I think it's very symbolic. My favorite playwright, August Wilson, talks about how we should not allow any other group to be custodians of our history. We have to be the caretakers of our own history. So that print really speaks to that idea, and I just love it in the room. Here I'm just giving you a look at this shelf here, and I just kind of wanted to show you the few Morrison books that I already have. So here I started with The Bluest Eye, like I said, and then just got various other books over the years, but I'm going to go ahead and add all of them to my collection since this will be the year of Toni Morrison for me. Couple of other new collections or new additions to my collection is this poetry book that I'm reading for a play, this suspense thriller by Alyssa Cole, and then this was a gift from my sister called The Overground Railroad, which is the story of the Great Migration mixed with the story of the Negro Motorist Green Book. Okay, so I did decide to go ahead and leave this wreath up because I don't have anything to put in its place just yet, and I think it's still appropriate for winter. There's my little DIY lantern down there. And then over on this other side, I just wanted to give you a peek of one other collection I want to build up, and that's my Walter Mosley collection. I am a fan of his Easy Rawlins series. It's a detective series, and so I definitely want to add more there. And then down here, I've just got some anthologies and some autobiographies here. And then I keep this art book open. This is an artist that I was introduced to by our artistic director at the theater, Kara Walker. She is known for her silhouette art, and her prints are usually set like in the antebellum period, and they're very profound. They always have these hidden meanings and hidden gems. Like in this one, you can see in this woman's hoop skirt, there are an extra pair of legs sticking out of them, which is deep, y'all. So here's an update on this frame. My husband applied a light sanding to it and painted it black for me. So I think it makes it look a little bit more contemporary. So I'm really loving it in this space. And then over here is my favorite corner of the room. I love this little table. So this is where I usually sit to read my books and sip on my tea or hot toddy. And then back over here with the keeper, I forgot to show you something on this side of the room. My sister gave me this pillow for Christmas, so I love it. It says the book was better. So this is a final look of the room, you guys. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my goals for 2021, and I am sending you best wishes and wishing you a happy new year from my family to yours.